Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. We are back to play some cards. Though today our introducing phrase is not quite correct, because today we have a special episode where we are going to discuss our German US tank aggro deck in a little bit more details, and we have a match versus JKing7, one of probably the best card players in the world. And I felt sick the last 2 weeks, I think it is already now, but I played cards during this time, though I did not record something. And one of our matches was against JKing7. A very interesting match, very intense, at least for me. I guess for he it is daily business. But luckily for us, he recorded it on his channel, and we can have a look and on our match against him from his perspective. And that is something like a private coaching for free. And we will watch this video after we have a closer look to our deck. And I want to have this closer look today because I played the deck offline, and I was a little bit curious if it is good enough to become Field Marshal rank with, because our win rate was more or less 50-50. But the more we play, the better we come along with it, and we made it to the Field Marshal rank with this deck. And so I want to have a closer look on it and present it in this way. So most of the cards should be known for at least for the audience that watch these videos regularly. But maybe there is the one or the other question left about all cards. So we start with the KARDS 222 or 222. The Blitz tank with 1/1 in stats that boosts adjacent unit by a +1 attack. Since we try to deal as much damage as possible in the shortest possible time, this is a nice addition to our low-cost tanks, which increase their strength and are good targets for cards like Sunstrike or something that could wipe out targets with higher defense stats or higher attack stats. But this card pulls the attention of these removals. So the enemy removes 1/1 in stats. Of course, maybe up to 3 attack, the one it has itself, and the potential 2 +1s. But the tanks are still existent, and especially in combination with the combat engineers, the 1/2 infantry US unit that buffs units that move to the front line permanently by +1 are still existing on the board. So this is also a great support card for the deck, like the 158th Nachschub or supply, if you want to translate it, the 04 elite smokescreen unit that has every nation just with the variety of the ability, and the German version gets or gives you +2 credits for the first time you destroy an enemy unit. Really great if you can play something like the Panzer IIA remove something, you get 2 additional credits and can go for Panzer 35 or something. So yeah, the Panzer 2A, we have it 4 times. That is basically the backbone of our strategy. A fast tank that can become quite resistible with the free defense it has from the beginning. Yeah, it has only 1 attack, but with this one here, with the combat engineers, it gets 2. With the SD, it goes up to 3. And yeah, if we play the Heinz, the elite order that buffs all German tanks in the front line by +2/+1, this can become a real big monster. And yeah, especially in addition with the Befehlswagen. So if you manage to play the Panzer 2A in the first turn, move it, or if you have the combat engineers also in hand, you can place the combat engineers in turn 2, move the Panzer 2A in the front line. Yeah, it gets +1/+0, so it is a 2-3 unit. And if you have additionally the Befehlswagen in hand, you get the Befehlswagen out, and after that you can play the fast Heinz. So then you have a 4-4 and a 4-3 in turn 3, and that is very hard to beat with for most of the other decks. At first I thought, yeah, you should keep this order to buff at least 3 or 4 units, so you have you can boost your front line up to a real wall, but actually it is more efficient if you use it early. Yeah, maybe sometimes you can even use it just for 1 unit. For 2 units it is quite perfect and causes a lot of trouble for most of the decks that are out there these days. Then we have the Wirbelwind, another Blitz tank with 2 attack, and of course the ability to pin down enemy aircraft units. Yeah, especially for the Britain air decks, and yeah, there are several Japanese aircraft that are played, US aircraft of course, and sometimes German aircraft. So yeah, it is always a nice card to have in the front line because it draws the attention of our enemy, and yeah, he has to spend removals to remove this card in case he wants to use his aircraft, and yeah, can be problematic, especially if there are those 2, for example, that are already buffed. Then we have the Panzer 35, a really great card, especially in combination with the combat engineers again. So if you can play the combat engineers turn 1, you can play the Panzer 35 in turn 2. It reduces its operation costs to 0, since yeah, the combat engineers are an infantry unit, and you can roll into the front line in turn 2 with a free 2 tank and attack right away. Same thing, if you have the Befehlswagen in hand, you get 2 tanks in turn 2, which is really nice. Then we have the 22nd Infantry. Yeah, well, sorry for the scrolling. One of the standard infantry cards in German decks that let you draw cards when you control the front line. Then we have the 1st Marines. Yeah, I really like this card because of its blitz ability. Yeah, it has only 3 costs, 1 to operate. Pretty easy to move into the front line. Can remove most of the enemy aggro units, and can take control of the front line, which benefits again our infantry regiment. We have the Hellcat 1 time. Yeah, as some sort of finisher, and of course, yeah, something like yeah, a Joker. if the enemy plays a big tank, like the use of Stalin or something, the Hellcat can deal with it. So then we have the Panzer IIIL, pretty standard, a German elite Blitz tank in those aggressive decks. Only 3 to play and 2 costs to operate, and it gets +1/+0 for each non-tank unit. So we actually only have 2 non-tank units in the deck, infantry and fighter. But yeah, fighter is we only have 1 fighter that stays on the board. So in best case this can be a 5/5. Most of the times it is a 3/5 or 4/5, but yeah, also every time a big threat for our opponent, and yeah, they have to deal quick with it. Then we have the Panzer 38T, primarily for the card draw ability, and yeah, additionally it has good stats, 2/3, and it operates for only 1 credit, so you can easily rush into the front line, deal damage. It is sticky, and of course the better or the more it is buffed, the better the card becomes. Then we have the Flammpanzer to remove smokescreen targets. Especially the 0-4 smokescreen infantry from the specific nations. The Signal Regiment is target number 1, of course, from Japan. The card that deals 1 damage to your HQ as soon as one of the units from our enemy dies. And this is our only opportunity. Not quite exactly, we have 2, but the other one is a little bit harder, but we will see in a moment. So yeah, 2 times the Flammpanzer to remove those smokescreen units. Then we have the Blitzkrieg to end the game, of course. One of our finishing cards. If you have 3 low cost tanks in the front line in turn 3, you can play this in turn 4, or even if you have only 2 in the front line that might be buffed, you can play this in turn 3. Like the example that we constructed, if we have the Panzer II with 2/3 instead with the Befehlswagen that was pulled out by the Panzer II, and you play the Blitzkrieg, you have 10 damage on turn 3, and you bring your enemy down already half the way, of course, as long as he does not have any guard units, but it adds a lot of pressure to our enemy, and this can be followed by the 5th Rangers, a 4/4 unit with Blitz, and you can choose to reduce the operation costs to 0. So this goes immediately to the front line, or you can buff it by +4/+4. So it becomes an 8/8, which can be helpful sometimes, but most of the times you want to blitz it in for 0 costs. Then we have the Sherman. Main reason is, like the 38, to draw cards, and that's the reason we need the 5th Rangers to blitz into the front line, or the 1st Marines to blitz in the front line. So we have a good opportunity to make use of the Sherman. And if not, it is still a decent body with 4/4 that can operate from the support line, move into the front line, get buffed by the Blitzkrieg, is reduced to 1 operation costs, and can win the one or the other match. Then we have the Bf-109E, the 3/3 aircraft that gets +1/+1 if we control a tank or an infantry, or +3/+3 if we control both of them, which is most of the time. And then we have a 6/6 unit for 4 credits. And if we keep in mind that we already beat our opponent's HQ, and he is already down to 12 or 13 health, and suddenly there comes out a 6/6 in the support line, and we are still in control of the front line. This is a very big threat for our opponent, and also very good to remove the big guard units. Then we have the Stars and Stripes, the only remove order. Of course, better to pick out the smaller targets like artillery units or other support units. We have it only one time because I think that is enough. We want to beat down our opponent, and this is more like our fallback if we are struggling with the big guard units. Then we have the Comet as another winning condition, one of the standard fighter cards in German decks. 6 credits and 0 operation costs for 4 attack and 2 defense with Blitz, and at the end of the turn it goes back to our hand. So we can play this every turn for 6 credits and deal 4 damage, and then we put our opponent on the clock. The only thing to counter this card is a countermeasure from our opponent that deals or that destroys a card that is played. That happens not quite often. So I think this card has never been removed by any countermeasure. And last card is the Tiger 1H, an 8/8 tank with heavy armor 2 that cannot be pinned. In the first place, I added this card when the Super Dupo combo was out there. The combination of Sudden Strike and critical damage and supply shortage. The combination of cards that deal 1 damage to every enemy unit, and every unit that has been damaged this turn gets pinned. So this could not get pinned, so it was able to operate. Then actually I thought that this unit does not fit quite really into the deck type. But then I thought if we add so much pressure on our opponent with all those small units, and we still are not able to beat our opponent, and the match goes into round 10, 11, 12, it is not so bad to have something big in hand, because this is not expected by our opponents. They think, oh, okay, there is 3/5, a 2/3, a 3/3. Maybe this one can be an 8/8, but most of the time it stays 4/4. And so he uses all his removals, especially if this is a 6/6. He tries to remove this card, and then suddenly an 8/8 hits the board. And maybe our opponent has used already all his orders and sent in units in hope to survive long enough so that his bigger units will win the match for him, and suddenly this Tiger 1H hits the board and rolls through the enemy defense. It already won us some matches. It is situational, of course, but I want to keep it in the deck because I am quite satisfied with it so far. So that's it for the deck discussion. Now we switch to the deck analysis. So here we are. JKing
Would be
is
interesting to get another control deck.
locating us.
We only had one of those. We've had aggro, mid-range control, aggro, aggro, mid-range, mid-range. A rank 2.
So here we are. We can see we are his opponent. He is wondering about our rank. At this point, we were not Field Marshal.
On Germany.
Yeah, he located us in Germany, and here is his starting hand.
Are we gonna get one last Germany-Soviet?
So one thing I have to say first, JKing was testing something here. He built a Britain-Italian air deck and wanted to show how strong it is. And in his video, you can see it is 1.5 hours. He was replacing several cards and did it because he was thinking about what would happen if some cards would be nerfed so they become unplayable. Like the Swordfish, if this would become a 1-2, he said he wouldn't play it anymore and then remove the Swordfish. He said if the Empire Strikes would only deal damage to units and no longer to the HQ, he wouldn't play it. Something like this. I don't know if this was exactly what he was saying, but I think you get the point. And in my matchup, he cut out the close air support because this is a card that is already also in discussion about raising the costs to 2 credits. But he was trying what would happen if you play the Britain-Italian air deck without close air support. So he keeps the Swordfish.
Okay, as always, starting with Fiat. Fiat is just kind of a ridiculous card.
So we play our first Panzer IIA. I cannot remember on every card that we had in our hand, but I can remember that we did not have the best hand, so I had to adjust a little bit the playstyle, but we will see this in a few turns.
It's aggro, of course.
So this artillery was pretty unexpected. I've never seen it before. A 1-3 Italian artillery unit that gets 1 damage at the end of every turn if your opponent controls the same, or I think the same or more units. So he attacks
I might not
with
have
his
cast, but
Fiat.
I'm still gonna play as if I do. My opponents don't need to know I'm not running cast.
Yeah, okay. He said it right now. He is not running cast, close air support. And now I was thinking, okay, what can we do? If we attack with the Panzer IIA, we achieve nothing. We just lose our smoke screen, become a target for the artillery, for the bomber anyway. And I was trying to establish a board and make
If
use
cast was
of
nerfed,
this
then some
of the
people
ability
decided to start cutting
of
this
this
would still
artillery.
be correct because he would be playing as you would want to play in a way that forces your opponent to think about cast, and there's no reason not to, really, except for like bombing raid. Well, that's kind of annoying. Considering moving the RD to the front line, definitely considering moving the Fiat to the front line.
Yeah, and this of course an interesting move. I did not expect it that he takes control of the front line and deny any attack from my Panzers to his bombers. But it is an absolutely correct play at this spot.
I'm a little worried about Nakshu pop-off turns. I suppose we'll do this. T. First Marines, play it.
And this is the idea what I had. I mean, I could have attacked with the Panzer II into his Albacore or something and lower it to 1 health. But on the other hand, I was asking myself, would that be a good move? Because he could kill it easily if he attacks with all 3 of his units into it without receiving any damage. I did not know what he has in hand, and so I tried to add another unit on the board, and in order to make use of the effect of the artillery that damages itself.
So it's probably correct to just kill that. The question is, if he had Flame, he would have played it there instead of...
and that is, of course, correct. If we had the Flampanzer in hand, we would have killed the Swordfish.
So I think it's safe to just kill the First Marines and we take
and
the
this was the first time it got damaged by 1 because we are equal in units.
On the RD, that's fine. So it is Jur US.
And this now is one of the interesting spots. Well, so we wait for his comment.
Pretty certain that it's just wrong for him to play.
Yeah, he says he is pretty sure that it is wrong to play it like this with the 8/8 stats. And actually, I was not happy to play it like that. Normally, I, of course, want to play this as a 4/4 and rush it to the front line. But the problem is, we achieve nothing with this move. He does not know what we have in hand, and we have no real follow-up. So we have a 4/4 in the front line, and he has a 3 attack and a 1 attack bomber in the front line. So he kills it without any damage that he receives in return. And we spend all our credits. We are down to 0, so we do not have the ability to attack with those 2 into the Albacore. So this might have a chance to survive. So my intention in playing this as an 8/8 was to give him a target and prevent him from reducing the defense of our HQ.
That as an 8/8. I could shelling. I want to save the shelling. I could just kill the 8/8, but I don't think I need to this turn. Maybe I want to patrol the 1/3.
So the plan keeps playing. It has reduced by another 1 defense point because we are still equal in numbers.
I find it very, very, very unlikely this 8-3 ever connects with face. I don't think it's much of a threat at the moment. With an actually run board and tanks in his deck, obviously I can't just go face. I do need to trade, and 3 of his 4 units have smoke screens, so might as well hit the 80, but yeah.
And there he says it. We have too many units, so he has to attack and trade. And our strategy was correct. Though, yeah, if you just look at this card as an 8-8 and play it like this, it is probably wrong. But in this situation, it was, in my opinion at least, correct to give him targets and that this unit survives, at least for 2 turns.
The reason playing this is wrong is 1 Piracy just takes it out instantly. Wrath would also just return it to hand and you've wasted the turn.
Yeah. He says now, okay, it is wrong because it could be easily removed. But yeah, what is the alternative? If we play it as a 4-4 and move to the front line, yeah, it gets killed by those 2. No big deal. If it gets and what he says, if he had something, okay, yeah, if he has it, yeah, then he plays it and it goes back to our hand. But if not, then it sticks to the board. And then we might have a chance.
Interesting that he doesn't kill the artillery.
So in this case, I was preparing Stars and Stripes. I played the Panzer 38, yeah, because as I said, I had no good follow-up to the 5th Marines. But I was trying at least to get this unit a little bit lower on defense. And yeah, make it targetable by Stars and Stripes. At least I think I was preparing Stars and Stripes. We will see in a moment. And he's asking why I did not kill the artillery, because I thought about that we stay equal in numbers and it kills itself anyway.
So if I do, I can take out 2 of his units and that stops the ticking on Kanone. I'm assuming this is setting up a Hellcat. Could also be trying to set up stars, thinking that I would play another.
That are exact. He had a great read on us here. He reads us on preparation of the Hellcat or Stars and Stripes, and that is exactly the 2 cards that we have or can play in this situation. Yeah, but we go for the Stars and Stripes.
Does he have the? Does not have any follow up to that. Oh, that is just a beautiful draw. I mean, I guess I just pinned the 8-2. Trying to think if there was a reason to pin the tank instead. I don't think so. If Sexton gets removed, I'd rather we have an 8-2 4-op infantry in the support line. Maybe if this guy runs bolster. Maybe he does run bolster. It's possible there's some tanks he would consider running that with. Here's the Hellcat. So I actually had Hellcat and Stars, which is interesting. There's SD, which is going to...
And this is, in my opinion, interesting that for him it is interesting that we run Hellcat and Stars and Stripes. So it seems like you, in his opinion, you would run the one or the other card. And actually, I did not think about running the one or the other card, because we have 2 different strategies with both of the cards. We use the Stars and Stripes to clear out any, or to help clear out any guard units, and the the Hellcat, yeah, to finish the game. Yeah, in the best case, in addition with the Blitzkrieg, and deal 7 damage with a Blitz unit for 8 credits in total. Yeah. But interesting that he has this opinion. And yeah, we go for the SD that does nothing but blitzing in and deal with the bomber.
The bomber.
Instead of buffing any of our units. But
I think I need to
that's okay.
search for drop. Okay, Wellington. Definitely coming. I think I can hold off on the...
And as you can see, the Marines are still on the board. So he did not manage to deal with them. So, yeah, it is still a threat for him.
Shelling for a turn. Next turn I can even do shelling attack with Wellington. So really 35D double trade. Works for me. Move up.
Yeah, and now we have the 8-2 in the front line. For me, in his perspective, I would feel that is a threat. I do not, of course, know what he has in hand, but he has to deal in some way with it.
Like I can just Wellington attack it. Do I want to instead just do Lend-Lease? I mean, I guess we could do Wellington attack. It forces him to have a response, and then we're going to have additional credits in the future turns to do Lend-Lease, play what we get, to play around Enigma, and I pass with 3 credits, so he has to consider Ultra.
So we play here the combination, this time 4-4 as Blitz with 0 operations. Move it to the front line and draw cards. So now we have 2 4-4 bodies on the board. Of course, this bomber is strong enough to clear out both of them. But in this specific spot, he has to decide. If he clears out the Marines, we can attack with the Panzer or move to the front line and attack it, kill it. So, or he kills the Panzer and we can attack with the Marines. So this this bomber is in real danger.
Huh. All right. Kind of odd. I could do shelling to potentially keep it on the board. I think we're gonna do Lend-Lease. Ooh. That's very interesting there. Ooh. I think it's better to take this out now. Just like if he plays we can do it.
I think what means I think it's pretty obvious that he killed the Marine, so I have to spend 4 credits to clear out his bomber.
There's some really awkward spots he can put me in, and he spends 2 credits killing this. Well, 4 plus 2 from the next group. Trop's annoying, but it's gonna get raft. 35T doesn't do a ton.
So we establish here quite a big board with the 6-6. And of course he has some answers in hand, but I thought now it is time to throw something in and put the pressure on him.
Could do Trop. Monty. First, see what we get. Return this to hand. HMS. Kill the one that buffs. And he runs stars, but I also really want to get this turn. Like, surely he doesn't run 2 stars, right? Surely.
Yeah, and that is, of course, correct. We only run 1 time Stars and Stripes.
Surely. I think it's safer to do this. If he's running Stars and Stripes and Shermans, he's probably not running Enigmas. Man, this guy likes his 38 Ts. Alright. Well, we have quite a few draws for Empire Strikes. So, none on the first round. Also no Heresies. Which is a bit annoying. We could just, like, hold up Ultra. I mean, it's definitely better to just remove the front line.
Yeah. Now, with his shelling, he blocked our support line and cleared out the front line. And yeah, I was thinking, okay, he's taking back the initiative in the match. Yeah, and I could not really do something in this turn.
Could do Finest Hour trade here. And then clear with the rest. Am I gonna get, like, savaged by entrapment now? Okay, thank goodness. I was really expecting the entrapment, I'm not gonna lie. Kill this. Double trade into Sherman holds up Ultra, I think is the best way.
So this turn he wiped out yeah, almost our entire board. We of course keep the Nachschub, but all of our attacking units are down, and he has again 3 aircraft units on board.
About this.
He's he looks pretty often on the deck size. He's on 15 cards, and we have 14 cards left.
We're gonna be really low on bombers when we inevitably find the Empire Strikes, which is really gonna be annoying. Other 5th Rangers beef, that's fine. That's
so, and here now comes the big tank out. Of course, the 5th Rangers splits into a front line and pull out the Befehlswagen, and then we play the Tiger 1H, which is a problem because his units only have 2 attack and we have 2 heavy armor. So effectively, we do not receive any damage from these units.
That's fine. Man, if we can find a Heresy or an Empire Strikes or, you know, KARDS. Okay. Just spread out the cards, play Fiat.
So he cleared our front line again. Yeah, but that was obvious. Yeah, but we need something on the board and somehow reach his support line and kill out these bombers and fighters one by one.
Maybe it was better to I don't know. Problem is now Heresy can't actually pierce the heavy armor. RAF also would have been a really good card there. I have another RAF in the deck. Now it's gonna just be going face. I mean, I'm at 31, so I can deal with his units and just try to go face. Oh my goodness, stop with these 38Ts. I think that's the last.
He's a little bit annoyed by all the, the 38Ts, which draw us more cards, and we start, killing his bombers. It's a little bit, slow, but steady.
Last one. Also, does he really run Shermans with 5th Rangers being his only US unit?
Yeah, he forgot about the 1st Marines that we played in the first rounds, and we have a second 1st Marines, of course, and we have 2 times the combat engineers, which of course want to stay in the support line, but sometimes I even send those into the front line to make use of the Sherman. So but it is of course right that he thinks about it.
Oh my goodness. The pain never ends.
Yeah, this is one of the strengths of our deck and the weakness at the same time, because we only run 2 orders, the Fast Heinz and the Stars and Stripes, but that means that we only run units. So we have a lot of units to send into the front line, and especially the Wirbelwind in combination with the combat engineers. Now we are in the spot that I mentioned in the deck discussion. He has to deal first with the Wirbelwind before he plays any other air units.
And what are these draws? Well, time to play out our hand, because we have to. Gonna keep the swordfish back, you know. Even a 2 damage Empire strikes. I'm curious if he's been playing around Ultra or if he just doesn't have orders in hand. There it is. Now what I really need is card draw. I still have at least a Lend-Lease in deck, I think a Convoy as well.
Yeah, I was thinking, of course, about the Ultra. I think all Britain decks run Ultra. And yeah, but I thought, maybe he does not have it, but so let's play the Heinz. And I mean, the Stars and Stripes have gone through, and the Heinz is the only other order we have. So either he has the Ultra in hand, then it gets cancelled. That is, not the biggest deal. If it goes through, we increase the strength of our tanks in front line and are happy with it. It didn't work, and it is okay. We still have more units on board than him, so this artillery is reducing itself.
1 card. This Empire strikes, because it'll probably hit the Artie, I would guess. Really? Fascinating. Okay.
So at this point, I thought, let's throw in what we have. It does not makes any sense to keep this Befehlswagen in hand, because, right now he has no opportunity or ability to or option, whatever you want to call it, to clear out the Tiger. So you can I did not see any possibility that this can be pulled out by a unit, so I just send it into the supply line in order so it can attack in further turns. He is already again surprised why we do not attack the artillery. Yeah, but I think why should we waste a turn in killing this one, because it only deals 1 damage? Yeah, to deal with a unit that kills itself. So let's put our effort into units that have a higher attack value. Yeah, and do not kill themselves. So that's the reason why I do not attack the artillery.
Okay, we've basically run them out of cards.
Yeah, so he plays the Empire Strikes. So it might have been not so smart to play out those 2 units. But yeah, what else can we do? Keep it in hand. I don't know if it would have been the better play, but yeah, I wanted to clear out his units, and with only 1, the Tiger, it might have been too slow before he crunches our HQ to 0. So now he clears almost our entire board. The Nachschub is really sticky, does not want to leave the board, and yeah, our Tiger, of course, stays in the front line.
And we drop him 10.
Now, yeah, he has played all his hand cards. We have 2 at least, and yeah, we are almost even in deck size left. I thought I'm at 8.
This is sort of what I meant about just not being that much of a threat if I can clear the board.
No, 9. We are 9. Yeah, and we keep going to... maybe I should pause the video, because then we are talking together. You cannot understand anything. And I'm still trying to pick out 1 unit by the other.
5 turns to kill me. Oh my... Why?
Well, there comes the comet, right in time, and clears out another one of his units.
That is your deck. Oh my goodness. Okay. Card draw. This is useless. Gonna go face though. I have the 2nd Sea Patrol. No, I don't. I've used the 2nd Sea Patrol.
And yeah, the artillery lost another health point. And next turn we only have to kill the Kitty Hawk, and yeah, this one resolves itself. And we still only have the Tiger to attack. So, in my opinion, it is correct to play it like this.
I don't have Wellington either. I used HMS. We'll take him a few turns.
At this point, I thought, yeah, maybe it's better to play safe, because we are already down to 7 defense on our HQ. And yeah, he is on 33, which is quite a long way to go. Yeah, so I wanted to save as many points as possible. Yeah, and that's the reason why I was clearing out like this.
Just to kill me.
So here I'm preparing a blitzkrieg. I did not had it in hand, but I thought, yeah, okay, our opponent has nothing on the board and only 2 cards in hand that he refused to play in the last turn. So in case we do draw the blitzkrieg, it would be better to have as many units in the front line as possible, and yeah, use it.
I actually had another convoy in the deck. My goodness. Is it actually better to RAF? So I RAF this. Is it better to save it for fine? I'm trying to remember if I have a finest hour. I know I've definitely played one. I think I played 2, because I played one on a RAF to trade it into the 8/8. Or not the 8-8, the trop. This can't be pinned, so I can't save it for like a albacore kind of turn. I think I pass. I think I pass just because I'm more likely, like, if I can play over like 3 units in a turn, then it becomes possible I can't kill one of them. And I can survive at least another turn of this.
So now he is not playing any more units, and he is not using any orders on us to remove something. So we of course try to hit his HQ with everything we have. I thought about maybe a Commonwealth, but then I thought, that is not quite the most seen card in Britain Air. So, but after this turn, the threat was gone anyway.
That's interesting. Auto cannon. Do I return the combat engine? Do I really return the combat engineers? I think I do. Just limit the number of things that can attack. There's the Piracy.
I don't know if he thought about a potential blitzkrieg, but in my opinion, this was the better choice for him to remove the combat engineers, because it buys him, of course, much more time. If he just sends back the Tiger, it moves to the front end and attacks anyway next turn, because that costs 6 credits. We have 12 and few cards. He knows what we do have left. The other 6 credits are reserved for the Comet. That is always the way I would spend the credits, and then we would still have the combat engineers into the front line, which means another damage to his HQ.
And I know I have more bombers, but can I Empire Strikes now to kill the Nakshu? Maybe I should have done Empire Strikes to kill the Nakshu and retreated the 8-6. Because if he wants to sack Comet, that's kind of what I want. It buys me a couple more turns. I get to see if there's enough cards left in my deck to kill him. I'm curious why he's been passing lately. Like, why he's not playing down additional cards from his hand.
So first what I did here was clear out the Piracy to break the pincer ability, and then remove his aircraft with the Tiger.
Alright, sacked a second Whirlwind and bought a whole nother turn.
And this time we have the Flampanzer, we draw it. We cannot use it on any other target, so we use it on the artillery, of course. And we are down to 5 cards or whatever, and still not found our Blitzkrieg. Yes, and sorry, I said earlier we only had 3 2 orders. Of course we have 3 Blitzkrieg. I forgot about it. Of course.
I can actually kill the big tank if I sea patrol it. The question is the last 3 cards in my deck good enough to win? So I bring them to 5. So I'm going to definitely die in fatigue and Comet. The problem is I'm definitely dead. Like, he just kills me in 2 turns. So next turn he's dealing... Like, he's bringing me to 3. I have to do this, I think.
Yeah, and I thought I had him. And what is his answer? He clears out, of course, the board, just leaving me the Flampanzer.
This buys me enough time to see if the last cards in my deck can deal 5 damage. I think one's a Lend-Lease. Don't remember what the others are. This will deal 6 damage to me combined for fatigue, because I take 2 this turn and then 1 the next turn. Or I take 2 draws of fatigue and then 1 the next turn, which means 1, 2, 3, 6 damage. 10, 14, I'm dead to 2 damage burst. On the upside that I'm guaranteed both cards. I mean, there's no single card that kills him, so I need to Lend-Lease. It's Piracy and Albacore. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that was...
And those 2 cards do not help him, and yeah, he's surrendered.
Would have been useful earlier. And there you have it, 5 and 3.
Okay, now he is resuming his experiment. Yeah, and we did indeed beat JKing7, one of the best players in the world. It is of course not the greatest victory, since he played without one of the most useful cards in Britain air decks, the close air support. He's talking about it now after the match, that he probably would have won the match if he would had the card and had some other cards earlier. That might be correct. On the other hand, we did not had our Blitzkrieg as well, one of our key cards, and we did not had the best starting hand either. So I think all in all, regarding to the luck, it was pretty even. If he would have played the close air support in the 3rd round, or what it was, where he had 3 units on the board, where one of it was the artillery, and could buff it to 2, the artillery to 2 attack and 4 defense, then it might have been another story. But like this, for me, this was a very intense match, maybe one of my bests so far. I was really focused on it, and afterwards, actually happy that I did not stream it or record it, because about the talking and so on, I might have missed the focus. And I was thinking relatively long in some turns, and I think most of the time I choose the correct decisions. So this video has been pretty long, and now that's it at this point. This was the match that sent us up to the Field Marshal. So I hope so it does not feel that bad that we were only rank 2 at this point of the match. It was the last match before reaching rank 1. Yeah, and that's it. If you like this video, please hit the like button, leave a comment below if you want to add some comments to the match or have questions to the deck itself. And yeah, please subscribe to the channel, and thank you for watching.